Hi everyone, this is a kind of all-in-one tutorial, mainly about the use of the Vlog into the GH5. I will show you first of all a little bit about what the Vlog is and why we love it into the GH5. Then we will go into a step-by-step GH5 firmware update process. Right after that, I will show you how to install the Vlog itself into the camera. We will then step a bit into DaVinci Resolve to see a bit more about the Vlog and the Rec 709, for those of you that really are brand new with the use of a log profile image. And finally, I will show you how to install your own favorite 3D LUT to your GH5 system. And if you want to skip into the video to go straight to what you're looking for, please see the video description below, where I will add different timing of the video. So for those of you that are new with the use of the GH5, we will go step by step into the way to install the Vlog. But we will dive a little bit further into why is it made for, what you can achieve using it, and how to use it. And I will also show you how to master the use of the Vlog with your GH5 by showing you how to implement your favorite LUT into your GH5 camera. As you probably know already, the Vlog produces an extremely flat image, and that is the reason why we like it, because it produces an image that will give us a lot of room into the post-production process, during both the color correction process and of course the color grading process. But by implementing our favorite or homemade LUTs into the GH5, we will be able to see a more nicer image while recording, maybe way closer to the final look you're looking for. It may be really helpful for you to show to your team or clients how the image is supposed to look at the end, while you are actually recording that specific super flat Vlog image that remains totally safe on the SD card. We will see that we have the ability to save internally different LUTs. And if I will show you how to install any 3D LUTs into your GH5, I will show you how to export from your computer any 3D LUTs to your GH5. It's actually really easy, even if there is some little tricks to do. But first of all, for those of you who don't know anything about what a log is, I will try to make it really simple. First of all, there's many logs. Every serious recording system has its own log. Vlog for Panasonic, S-Log at Sony, Red Log on Red cameras, C-Log for Canon cameras, etc. And they all come to the same point. Originally, consumers' cameras are set to record kind of average good-looking images. A certain contrast into the image, a certain saturation of the colors. An image ready to go. That kind of image profile is close to what we would call the Rec 709 profile. That fits most of the time the consumer needs. Keep this in mind, as we will find that Rec 709 back into the Vlog assistance menu into the GH5 itself, at the exact same place where we will be able to implement our own LUTs into the system actually. But for more professional result, we would like to get the control back on the image. And if the ultra sophisticated camera system provides a real raw image, it comes also with a cost. It is a pretty heavy system, extremely expensive, and it provides enormous files. This is also to be considered. When I'm shooting on professional productions, for fashion or advertising, I may consider shooting on some lighter files for sure. Of course, it's not only that it takes less space on an hard drive, but you will need a real solid computer to digest and edit the raw files. On the GH5, I love using the Vlog, but even so, I'm not using it all the time. If you are used to the GH4 and GH5, you already know the Cine-like D and Cine-like V. Obviously, there are some Cine-oriented image profile already. And personally, I have been and still am using the neutral profile a lot. I am using the neutral profile on the GH4 that is recording this image right now. I did some changes on it to personalize it a little bit more, but it gave me a nice image, really close to what I need to deliver to my clients, and I've always been shooting like that with my GH4. I then only need to do real small adjustment if needed in post. to make the image the exact way I want. But we do not always control the lighting of the scene or its specificity. Then in those specific cases, I will for sure step into my vlog. It always depends on my subject. Those days I'm shooting a boxer, getting himself ready for an upcoming fight. It is kind of specific. Even if I love to step into complicated light setup, it's not possible in this case. I have to follow him where he's doing his training. And me and my assistant needs to accommodate with the situation of the place. This is where using the vlog is extremely helpful. In those images on the ring I was shooting with my most wanted 42.5mm fantastic lens. Extremely bright, and I was shooting wide open all the way, as this ring was extremely dark actually. But I also wanted to keep it that way, to keep it really moody. Okay, let's step into the vlog installation process. First of all, you want to make sure your camera firmware is up to date. For doing so, you will need an SD card, and also make sure your battery into your GH5 is fully loaded. That was actually not the case when I did start it. Now that we are set, we will format the SD card, then step into the menu in order to check your camera firmware. Go to the fourth menu and select the little tool symbol. I don't have any idea on how you call that tool in English actually. On page 3, go to the version tab and push down the selection button. I was on firmware 1.0. So now let's Google vlog for DC GH5. You should find that Panasonic page. I will add those links below the video of course. You see that they recommend to update the camera firmware. And for doing so, we will go to that other link under the check firmware version. At the bottom of the page, you will have to accept, and that will redirect you to the next step, the download page. Here you will select the DC GH5, in this case April 17, click download, it will open a pop-up page, go to the bottom of the pop-up again, select your system, Windows or Macintosh, it will now start to download the zip file into your computer, unzip it, and place the .bin file straight to your SD card from your computer. Place now the SD card back into the GH5, turn it on and push the play button. It will show you the firmware you are about to install. Click on yes and wait until the installation is completed. You can then check the firmware version again and see that you are now on 1.1 or any firmware to come, as the process for the future update should remain exactly the same. Now we are ready to install the vlog. The vlog comes from Panasonic in a box with an envelope into it. You will find there your code. But before using that code into the Panasonic website, we have to identify our own GH5 camera. For doing so, we will go back into the menu. On the camera, I suggest to reformat your SD card once again. Then we will go to the tab number 4, that little tool icon again, and then right under where we did check the firmware on page 3 or 4, where we see the word activate, click on it and select export serial code. This will place a small file into your SD card in order to identify your own GH5 system. And we are good to go back to the website again for the following steps. We are at step 3 on the Panasonic website now, so we have to click on the acquire activation code link, the activation code generation site. You can there choose Japanese or English, then select your product. There is obviously only one link. It shows you where you can find your serial file you have generated on the SD card. So plug back the SD card to your computer once again and go to the private folder, skip into it until you find the serial.lst file. Choose that file from the website page and upload it. It will give you access to the page where you will be able to copy your vlog code. Type the numbers straight, without any symbol in between. The vlog codes come 4 digit by 4 digits, like on a credit card. You have to put all the numbers straight and attached and click OK. It will generate a new file and you'll have to place it to the exact same place where you did find the serial file before. Now that it's done, you can bring back the SD card into the GH5 for the last step. Go back to Activate, this time select the second line, Import Activation Code, start processing, yes, and you are set. Now that we go back to the photo style menu, we will have access to the vlog. Fantastic. So now that the vlog is installed, we have seen that it is located next to the other common photo styles. It is right between the brand new Rec 709 photo style on the GH5 and the standard profile. When I do a really quick jump from the Rec 709 standard profile, we see that the image is really close to the standard profile. It looks just a bit more contrasted than the Rec 709. And in between those two we have then our vlog, with the low contrasted, low saturated, specific image. So we know exactly where we can find that vlog profile. It is on the second tab of the menu on the first page into the so-called photo style, where we also find the other profiles such as the Cine-like V, Cine-like D, Rec 709, Natural, etc. And we will see now a pretty interesting tool. Make sure you have selected the creative video mode by turning the button on the camera. To select the camera symbol with the M, we are able then to select the very first tab into the menu, the little camera symbol with the M also. And if you go into the second page, you will find the Vlog View Assist. This tool is really interesting, as it will give us the ability to view the vlog differently, while the actual recorded file will remain exactly the way it has to. Really soft in contrast, really soft in saturation, a pretty bleached out overall image. By using that Vlog Assist, we will be able to see the image through a LUT. And this will be really helpful when you have your client or a member of a team that have to see or understand how the final image will look like, as most of the time they are not really used to see a log image and understand that it's completely bleached out. When you will step into the Vlog View Assist, you'll find three sub-menus. The first one will be to read a LUT file. We will step into that process later on. You'll have the LUT selector. In that case, I'm using a LUT that I renamed by myself, so do not focus on that. And finally, the LUT monitor display that will enable or disable the selected LUT. Keep in mind that it will never affect your recorded file. It is a Vlog View Assist, nothing more, but it can be very helpful. And there is one thing here that I find pretty confusing. I'm here on page 2, on the very first tab of the menu. I'm about to click on the Vlog View Assist, and there is 3 lines on the second page of the menu screen. And the third line ends by a off or on the bottom right, regarding the 4K live cropping menu. But when I step into the Vlog View Assist itself, there is also 3 lines on the menu, and it also ends by a line with the off or on the bottom right. And the confusion comes from the fact that from there, as soon as you pull down the front camera button to see your image, when you will click back on the menu button, you will end into the previous page of the menu. But it will look like if you are back where you were before, but you are not. You are actually back into the first tab of the menu, page 2, even if it looks visually really close to the Vlog View Assist menu itself. It may sound a bit weird when I say it like that, for those of you who never try to use that menu. But trust me, as soon as you'll step into that process during a shoot, going in and out, selecting the LUT on and off, you will realize that the menu is pretty confusing there. And you will for sure end up selecting the 4K live cropping menu on and off instead of selecting the LUT on and off, I guarantee you. This is maybe something Panasonic may consider changing a little bit in the user interface. From there, to get back into where you were before pulling down the front button, you will have to click the Vlog View Assist again to get back where you were before. It's a bit confusing, as you may assume that by clicking back the menu button on the back of the camera, you will land where you were before, but you are not. But the menu in front of you looks visually really similar. So now that we are back into the Vlog View Assist menu, where you select the LUT select, you will get a menu where you can store your own LUTs. But we will see this a little bit later in this tutorial. In this case, I'm using some LUTs coming from Trion Film Cinematic LUTs. Trion Film is hosted by Ryan Connolly. They are the people also running the fantastic Film Riot YouTube channel, over 1 million subscribers. And those cinematic LUTs are extremely well done. Any of those LUTs have the name of a movie, as they mimic the color grading style of the movie obviously. In this case, I quickly upload the Captain America LUT, the Gravity LUT, etc. For now, if you are new to the process, the only thing you may do is actually choose the Rec 709 LUT. As we have seen, the Rec 709 is really close to the standard image profile. that ready-to-go image. So basically, by selecting the Rec. 709 LUT, you will add some more contrast and saturation to your vlog appearance. And once again, when you step back into the menu, you may choose to activate that LUT preview on top of your vlog image or not, by selecting the LUT monitor display on or off. In this case, I'm using the so-called Captain America LUT on top of my vlog image. Slightly more contrasted and a bit more green, obviously. If I quickly turn it off, I'm back to my original vlog image view. The difference is pretty obvious. And now when I pull back the menu button, as you see, it looks like if we are where we were before, but we are not. We have to click on the View Assist menu to step in. As I said, it's a little bit confusing when you start playing with it, but after a while you get used to it. And as I also said, at the beginning you'll have only the Rec. 709 LUT. I need to turn the LUT on first, and here it is. And this may already help you to show a more ready-to-go image to your team or client on the set. But this may also show you if your exposure is good or not, as you will most of the time add some more contrast into your image in post. By using a Rec. 709 LUT for viewing your vlog, you may end up with some highlight clipped or some shadows crushed. So it may also be helpful to virtually control your exposure a little bit. It may look good when you are looking at your vlog image, but you are maybe a little bit tight. Don't hesitate to use the WaveFrom and histogram to check your exposure from time to time on the GH5. I'm not gonna go too much into that right now, otherwise that video will be way too long. But if some of you wants to know more about it, just leave me a comment below. So I will also show you how to import 3D LUTs into your GH5 camera. There is a little trick to do for doing so, otherwise your favorite or homemade 3D LUTs will not be recognized by the system. But right before that, let's step really quickly into DaVinci Resolve to see the difference in between a vlog image and a standard profile image from the WaveFrom monitor tool. So here we go, we are now into DaVinci Resolve, and this really is the kind of specific log image. Okay, it's really bleached out, like I said. And we are gonna consider this image through the waveform. Let me make this one bigger. And you see, this is exactly what we need, the kind of waveform that we want, because we have a lot of space to do our post-production. If I get back to the nodes, I'm heading a node right there, and I'm gonna tweak that image to make it looking like a Rec. 709 more or less really quickly by using that curve. I'm pulling down the blacks. Okay, one thing, because I know that this clip is specific because I got the flare, and the flare is actually pulling down the contrast on the image. So I'm gonna go passing by that flare effect right there, and I'm gonna set my blacks and my deep shadows based on those images where the flare is gone. And I still got some room to raise up my highlights a little bit. And this really depends on your taste, of course. I could go like really high, I could go lower, and in my case, I don't go too low, I don't go too high, because I wanted to keep it moody like this. Okay, so this is it. So this is my log image. And this is my Rec. 709 like LUT. I did it really quickly, but this is more to illustrate how a Rec. 709 may look. It's more contrasted. Keep in mind that the log is not only a gamma curve, it's also a gamut curve, okay? And gamut is related to the ICC profile. So we can pretend that this is the way it may look if we had a Rec. 709 LUT onto a vlog. It will bring more contrast, and by definition it will affect also the saturation of the colors, of course. If I go back to the waveform, so I told you that I needed to place my shadows based on those frames where my flare is gone, because as I said, the flare will affect the contrast of the image. So I place my image right after that flare effect to decide how deep I want to go with my shadows over there. Okay, and if I compare the two, you see that I have a lot of room to do my post-production, my grading, my color grading. Instead, when shooting like this, it's already there, okay? And this is what I'm gonna illustrate by showing you those clips, okay? I did show you some of those on some previews in this tutorial already. And if I go to node, and I'm adding a new node, okay? So you see that my blacks and my shadows are over 128, okay? And if I need to make a quick adjustment like this, I will pull down the shadows, okay? Really down, but still, okay? I'm not crushing the blacks. And if I need to raise up the highlights a little bit, I will do it, but just slightly. And this, once again, this may show you how a Rec 709 may look, once again. But now, if I show you this video that have been shot by my assistant while I was actually recording with my GH5, and this have been shot with the GX8, okay? And you see that it's already completely down. Okay, maybe the exposure, and for sure, the exposure on the camera wasn't completely right. It didn't really check the exposure probably. But if I need to raise up the shadows like this, I don't have any room. It's all of the shadows that have been crushed, okay, that I need to raise it up. And the global image will not be really good. It's still usable, okay? But once again, those kind of standard profile or Rec 709 profile most of the time have been set to being used like that. And in this case, I will assume that the exposure on the camera that my assistant did wasn't correct, okay? But otherwise, you may see that it could be good like this. There's nothing to do. There's no black or highlight to correct. It's a ready to go image. Even if in this case, I totally agree, my assistant did underexpose the video. But when you look at what I did with my GH5 using the Vlog, I have all the room I need to do the post-production. In this case, if I go really quickly, you see that I'm like crushing the black a little bit, raising up the highlights, and I did place some touch of green, but I'm not gonna go too much in details right now about this one because I did tweak a little bit more than that. But keep in mind that basically I did shot it like this, pretty flat, and at the end I'm crushing the black a little bit, but not too much. I have a lot of room if you compare with and without the Vlog and the Rec 709, let's say. You see a big difference, and this is all you need to take care of is the waveform, okay? This is why we're using the Vlog or any log basically, is to keep a lot of room into the waveform monitor and being able to tweak in post-production. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to import any 3D LUT to your GH5. In this case, I'm into the folder that I told you, the Triumph Film Cinematic LUT, and let's pretend we're gonna import House of Cards 3D LUT into the GH5. For doing so, you'll need to go to that website over here. I'm gonna give you, of course, the address into the video description. You're gonna load this page, and then you go there, LUT Calc Online. First of all, I suggest you to use Chrome for doing that process, because I don't know why, but Safari doesn't work perfectly for doing so. The first step will be, of course, to go down here and choose File to upload the actual 3D LUT, and we said House of Cards, so upload. Now you can go and click that preview button over there. Then we'll go into the input gamma. As I told you, the Vlog is not only a question of gamma, it's also a gamut curve, okay? So in this case, we're gonna go into the input gamma, select Panasonic Vlog. Then into the input gamut, we're gonna go into the Panasonic V gamut. Now I click onto 333 and then LUT range 100 to 109. Then you can go to click Analyze, and it will show you a kind of preview and also those curves over there. Now we go back to the right section of the window and we select here, because we want it for camera, of course. So we select camera and we go to VariCam 3D. Those are the files that are for Panasonic cameras, of course, as the VariCam are the big brothers of the GH5. Over there, 3D, 109, 109, it's okay. Now we go back to the left once again, and in this case, we choose Panasonic GH4 instead of GH5. I don't know why, but it haven't been updated, but it's okay. Same thing, Panasonic GH4. So one thing I forget to tell you at the very beginning, as soon as I upload my LUT over there, the first thing is that I rename it. In this case, I'm gonna say house off, okay? And then click to generate LUT. That's it, it's over there. So here it is into my house of VLT. So now the only thing you should do is drag and drop it straight to the Lumix SD card into the root folder, and that's about it. We're gonna place it into the GH5. Okay, now we're gonna set that new LUT into our system. Just make sure you are not on any other profile than the log, otherwise it will not let you go into the view assist, of course. So select your vlog first of all, then you're gonna go into the second page once again, and now you have access to that read LUT file. And as you remember previously, that read LUT wasn't available, but in this case it is, as the system recognized that there is a LUT into the SD card. So we recognize our house of, we select it, it says save to, which is actually the 4 different space that you have into your system, and then you can of course scratch one of the previous one you had maybe set already. So I'm gonna override this one, select yes, that I completed, and if I go to my LUT select, I see that my last one is actually the one we just upload. So you see it's pretty simple, and we are good to go. So this is it. We have updated the firmware, installed the vlog into our GH5 system, and we are now able to import our favorite 3D LUT into our camera. I hope it helps some of you. Thank you very much and see you next time.